All right, so champions crowned in Lax last night, but more gold to be handed out in EPC boys volleyball tonight. Dan Freemuth and Mike Kraus will be on the call for that title tilt as we bring in Mr. Freemuth now to get us set for what we can potentially expect tonight. Dan, what you got?
Mr. Freemuth, that's my younger brother. He's a middle school English teacher. That's usually the Mr. Freemuth that I'm more accustomed to, Cassie. But I appreciate that. Hey, look, we are really excited about the 2023 East Penn Conference Boys Volleyball Championship. It should come as to the surprise of absolutely no one. The top-seeded Parkland and second-seeded Emmaus are the final two teams left standing. We talked, it was a little over a week ago, about the parity in this EPC boys volleyball bracket. And teams like Nazareth, Liberty, Freedom, and Whitehall showed really well in the tournament. But in Parkland and Emmaus, we've got two teams that have combined to win 32 of their 33 total matches this season, which is why, no surprise at all, we've got the top two teams preparing to meet in this evening's EPC Boys Volleyball Championship. Let's take a closer look at exactly just how tight these two teams are. I mentioned the 32 total wins between these two. Emmaus has only the one blemish that came against rival Parkland in the Green Hornets regular season finale. More on that showdown in just a bit. You see sets won over the course of the season, directly the same for these two. And Parkland has only lost 3 sets all season long. In fact, the Trojans had not dropped a set in nearly a month until Parkland lost one game against Liberty in the EPC semifinals. How about those hitting percentages? Darn near identical over the course of 16 and 17 games, respectively, between these two teams. And for both Parkland and Emmaus, these sides both have 3 players at hitting better than 30% on the season. Parkland's Chase Robbins leads all Trojans with a nearly 38% hitting percentage. And how about Jametric Harris, the EPC first-team All-Star for the Green Hornets? He's hitting at 45% for the season. Speaking of EPC All-Stars, 8 combined between these two. You see Parkland with the edge in quantity, but the 3 EPC All-Stars for Emmaus, all first-teamers, including the league's most valuable player during the course of the regular season in junior setter Cooper Hensler. And, of course, the most important distinction between these two as it relates to East Penn Conference gold medals, they are dead even at 3 apiece. Of course, Parkland is your defending champ. Emmaus, meanwhile, won it back in 2021. That was the most recent of what have been now 4 total head-to-head get-togethers in the East Penn Conference Boys Volleyball Tournament between Parkland and Emmaus. For the Trojans, this is their 5th appearance in the East Penn Conference Boys Volleyball Final. For Emmaus, it is the Green Hornets' 6th finale. Let's start, though, with the top-seeded Trojans, who are going into this evening's title tilt with an abundance of confidence, and deservedly so. We just took a look at the numbers for the Trojans. An unblemished 16-0 record. They have won 48 of 51 total sets this season, and they basically start an all-star team right from the get-go. But specifically as it relates to the head-to-head matchup between Parkland and Emmaus, there's confidence there too. The Trojans swept the Green Hornets in the EPC regular season finale 3-0. And game 1 wasn't even close. 25-13 Parkland. And that was the first of 2 wire-to-wire victories in that showdown by the Trojans. They took games 1 and 3 wire-to-wire. Emmaus led only once, 3-2 in set 2. Parkland promptly regained the lead and led the rest of the way. So the Trojans feeling awfully confident after that regular season get-together going into tonight's postseason rematch. But the Trojans know meeting number 2, it's not going to come quite so easily this time around.
We played really well that night, and not many things went wrong. The good news is for us is that we've had things go wrong in the season. So, whether it be small injuries or unexpected, bad play out of somebody for a set or a match, we've had that experience, and we know we can come out from that and make the adjustments individually as a team, from the coaching staff at some point, and fight through those things.
I know that we beat them 3-0 last time, but I think we're going to be prepared for as many sets as it takes. If it goes to 5, we'll be ready. But yeah, they're going to come out with some fire. Because the way the first match went, one of Emmaus' big things that they play off is emotion, and it never came into play for them, I think, and it started impacting them throughout the match. And I think if we can set the tone early and keep it positive and keep it loud and and push ourselves, I'm hoping to set that same tone on our side. But again, I'm not anticipating Emmaus not getting emotional in some way that's going to carry them to some points, and we just have to know how to fight back to that. I think the biggest key is our serving. If we put them in bad spots, I don't think they can beat us. I don't think they can get good swings at us. And then once we get in the system, I don't think their block can handle our offense.
I think everyone's just super confident. We're all super ready. The 3-0 really gave us like a big
big step of confidence. Everyone's ready to play. Everyone's ready to do everything they can.
Now, Parkland's sensational sophomore Josh Nation had 16 kills, 4 blocks, and 3 aces in that May the 4th get-together between Parkland and Emmaus. Again, a match the Trojans swept 3-0. They are currently at 16-0, bidding for their 4th EPC Boys Volleyball Championship. Ditto for the Emmaus Green Hornets, who are vying for their 4th EPC crown in the last 7 seasons. Emmaus is appearing in its 6th East Penn Conference Boys Volleyball Championship. The Hornets are 3-2 in the previous 5 showdowns. And obviously coming off that regular season setback to the Parkland Trojans, Emmaus to a man had to admit, look, we were not at our best in that showdown. But the Green Hornets have gone back to practice, and they have adjusted both strategically and mentally for what they will hope will be a better outcome here this evening.
I think we were all a little bit too laid back during that game because we beat them once during the Bobcat tournament, and I think we just kind of took them too lightly, or we didn't prepare enough. And I think now we're all got our whole hearts in it and we're ready to go.
The way that we played that day is definitely not defying us as a team. I feel like we played a lot better different days. I feel like that day specifically we just weren't passing well. I feel like if we played any team, we would have had a hard fight.
I think we just got to get our passes a little tighter for Coop so he can get his sets going and we can get our offense running a little bit better. And I know our defense can do that. We just got to make sure we do that on Wednesday.
We just need to serve more aggressive, a lot more topspins in the lineup now. And I think before we were just afraid of just missing serves. And the problem with that is when you just give a team like Parkland free balls basically every single time, which myself included, I floated a lot, and Chase and the libero just dug it up. So just top spinning hard, overpower them. If they're out of system, they can't run their middles, they won't run a good right side, and their outsides are going to be really far off the net, giving it an easier shot for us to block, easier pass. And that makes such a big difference, and just confidence. That just builds up the confidence, and that's what we really need.
There's a lot more on the line. I feel like we definitely want it a lot more. We've been practicing harder and harder since that loss. I feel like that was kind of a help for us, that loss in a way. It put us more in our place. We were very confident going into that, and now I feel like we're just ready to play.
All right, now for context, Emmaus's 2 big hitters, Logan Dougherty, Demetric Harris, the 2 team leaders in kills. They both had 9 kills apiece in that regular season get-together with Parkland, neither one of them reaching double digits, and again, a match that Emmaus lost 3-0. That juxtaposed with the EPC semifinals, a match that Emmaus won 3-1 over Freedom. Both Dougherty and Harris, 15 kills apiece. Those guys will need to be locked in this evening if the Green Hornets are to have a better outcome tonight in the EPC Boys Volleyball Championship opposite top-seeded Parkland.
Thanks so much, Dan. Now you guys are all set and ready to go. That coverage comes your way right at 6 o'clock tonight on SEN Channel 2 and 502 in HD. Always a good one when 2 rivals meet, especially with much more on the line this time around. All right, time to